Angel Sempe was just a child when she dreamed of one day having a monkey. At 4 years old, she held her first baby monkey at a petting zoo.
And from that day on, I was determined to get a monkey.
Her childhood dream became a reality 7 years ago when she decided she needed something. She desperately wanted a child.
I just wanted what was going to make me feel better. And what made me feel better at the time was having an animal that I treated like a child.
A son?
Yes, I had a surrogate son.
Her own baby was not an option, at least not at the time. Angel is well known in the racing world. Her demanding career as a professional motorcycle drag racer was just taking off.
Angel and the team wins it with a 7.
She's now set world records.
Woo! I love to win like that.
Being a racer is a hard job to be a mommy as well. But to be a motorcycle racer is even worse. You know, there's just no possible physical way that I could do both. I can't race and, bear a child. So I thought, adopting a monkey as a pet would be a surrogate child to me would be a good thing to do.
Like thousands of other Americans, Angel found her monkey on the internet. She bought him from a breeder in the Midwest, and he was flown to Louisiana on an airplane. At the airport, little Andy, her new son.
I was so happy I had a baby. I could dress him and put a diaper on him, and he would drink bottles, and he held onto my arm for 6 months straight. But to me, that was cute. He loves me. I didn't see it as this animal needs his mother.
In the beginning, everything seemed right. Angel spent thousands of dollars on an addition to her home, a special room for her new son. But no amount of money, no amount of love would be enough, and Angel's dream soon became an emotional nightmare.
I'm crying because of what I did.
In fact, it was only after she brought Andy home that Angel learned how most monkeys are removed from their mothers. In some cases, they dart the mothers to sedate them when they separate the babies. They're pulled away, both mother and baby screaming.
He said this is really, really strong stuff.
Can you imagine taking a baby from a mother out of the hospital? And that's what we did. He is a wild monkey. He is never going to be domesticated, and it took me 7 years to realize that.
7 years and a growing Andy destroying everything. His custom-made room, tearing up the walls, the windows, the wiring. Angel is convinced Andy was acting out because she'd taken him from his real mother and his real surroundings. And now his human mom, a racer, was away from home too.
He was lonely.
Very, very lonely.
And depressed?
And depressed.
But her heart-wrenching decision wouldn't come until after Andy's most vicious attack. She'd given him peanuts, and when she entered his caged room, he thought she was trying to take back the food.
He bit me everywhere he could bite me. He ripped my elbow open, right across my wrist, on my hand, the back of my knee, and it all happened within like 3 seconds. I got out of the room as fast as I could, but I got out of the room bleeding all over the place.
That night, she went online looking for help.
This was the closest thing to a human child that I could ever possibly imagine, but it was just completely and utterly wrong, and I did it, and I'm going to do the best I can to fix it.
Hi, Haley.
Angel found Carrie Bagnall, who runs the Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary in Florida.
When you listen to Angel's story,
it's a very familiar story. I hear the same story over and over.
The same tears, the missing of the son or the daughter.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of monkeys here that people bought as surrogate children.
Andy's at his new home.
And now Angel is adding her name to a growing list. Human mothers and fathers whose monkeys were far more than they could ever handle.
I think it's going to be harder for me at the end of the week because his birthday's Friday.
Is it okay, buddy? You'll stay?
I don't think he wants to come back home. He's done.
Bye, boo-boo. Bye, buddy.
After 7 years together, it is an agonizing breakup. On this day, Angel tearfully delivers Andy to his new home.
I'm trying not to cry.
Once the monkeys are brought here to the sanctuary, there are extraordinary challenges. In many cases, their teeth have been pulled. Sometimes their fingers have been cut off by owners who simply decided they were too much to handle, taking drastic steps.
So we have 103 monkeys here right now.
All varying in size, each with a story of their own.
Hi, Jack.
There's Jack, confiscated after a drug deal gone bad. 2 people were shot dead, and he was found outside.
And Jack was chained to the back porch?
He was chained to the back porch in the wintertime in Ohio, so he was really freezing, and he was underweight and had urine burns. Connie is diabetic. She gets insulin injections once a day.
What about the pet owners who give their monkeys kind of human food, like lollipop?
We have a lot of we have 9 diabetic monkeys here. So,
because of the lollipops and the sugar?
Because of all of it. They have a sedentary lifestyle. They don't do anything. They eat garbage.
Before they got here?
Right.
Come on, Jimmy. Harry.
There was Jimmy, screaming at the sight of me. Carrie says he doesn't like men because his fingertips were cut off by his male owner, because little Jimmy knew how to unlock his cage. And then there's Poochie, rescued from a highway in Chicago.
It's too bad he couldn't really tell us his story, what really happened to him.
They believe he was caught in a house fire and then left behind. His hair is nearly gone, and so is one of his eyes.
I have monkeys here that the people have had for 20 years. Never had a problem. All of a sudden, and they don't even know what set the monkey off. 20 years later, the monkey attacks. So it's just something, it's going to happen. It's not a matter of, you know, if they're going to attack, it's when. I've got scars all over my body from, this was the worst one. This was 14 stitches, and they got an artery on that one, but I've got them everywhere.
What about the pet owners who say, well, I've removed the teeth?
Oh, God. That's mutilation. That's horrible.
But some owners consider it a reasonable safety precaution. Still, Carrie says the teeth pulling and the cut fingers can create lasting psychological problems for these monkeys. There was Wanda, who sucks her toe.
They rock, they self-grasp, hold on to themselves because they were stolen from their mothers, so they hang on to themselves, and they'll self-mutilate.
Nearly all of them originally bought by people looking to make them their children.
This is big business.
It's huge.
How much money are we talking about?
Well, about $5,000 to $8,000 they sell the capuchin monkeys for.
For one baby monkey?
For one monkey.
Angel spent thousands on Andy and on his room in her house. She's now donating thousands to the sanctuary. Her only concern, how will Andy do here? After all, she's the only mother he's known for 7 years.
You're not gonna go play? He's so human imprinted that I wondered, have I completely ruined him? Will he ever be a monkey?
When we come back, Angel and her family return to the sanctuary for the first time to see Andy, the monkey left behind by his human mother. Is he surviving without her? Their dramatic reunion when The Outsiders returns.